A very busy morning, and a morning where we are wondering what is Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane planning to do. We all know from the letter that she wrote to the President that she will be reporting for work this morning. The President responded saying, not so.
Not so much. Not so much. Let's take you across to our eNCA reporter. It's Moloko Moloto who's watching that for us this morning. Yes, Moloko, we can talk about Section 194 committees and suspensions and outgoing public protectors. But here's the question. Is Busisiwe Mkhwebane showing up for work? Have we seen her tagging in? Have we seen her arriving? What's it looking like this morning?
Well, good morning, Gareth. She hasn't been seen around, at least up to now, and it could be that if she is in, she possibly used one of the two gates, because there are two gates. There's one on the northern side and there's the other one next to the shopping center. But at this point in time, I'm told by somebody who is working inside there that she certainly is not inside the offices of the public protector. Now, if she were to come in, because in her tweet she is indicating that she will be reporting for duty, I'm told that usually the working hours at the offices of the public protector starts at 8 o'clock. It would mean that she ought to be here by now, otherwise she would be late for duty, Gareth. That is, if indeed she's eligible to be here. We have already heard from the Office of the Public Protector following that tweet by Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane. The office has responded through a statement by saying that it has noted this media and public reports regarding the public protector or the suspended public protector intending to return to office, and they are saying that she is not an employee of the Public Protector South Africa, and as a result they believe that that process has to be handled with the President or the Office of the President, who has suspended her. And we have also seen a correspondence from the President, Cyril Ramaphosa. I just want to read a few lines from there for you, Gareth. He is also saying that he has taken note of a letter. Apparently, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane has written a letter to the President. Of course, she did not put that particular letter on social media. However, here the President is indicating that citing Section 194 of the Constitution, which empowers him as the head of state to suspend the public protector. And according to President Cyril Ramaphosa, the process of ensuring that she determining whether she is fit to hold office or not has not come to conclusion, meaning that her suspension is still in place. You would recall that as much as the Section 194 Committee of Parliament, which was probing her fitness to hold office, has made a determination that she is not fit and proper to hold this particular position. However, the final decision rests with the National Assembly. 60% of the National, or 2/3 of the National Assembly must vote to decide whether they endorse that particular recommendation of the committee or not. So the President is saying that you cannot therefore return to office because this process has not reached finality. Essentially, the President is saying that Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane has misinterpreted legislation and provisions of the Constitution there.
I want to talk as well, if we could, for a second, because now what we've got is crossed wires. We've got a suspended, possibly not suspended anymore, public protector deciding that she's coming to work. And I want to quote this and make sure that we're not misleading anybody, because it is a complicated story as well. Saying, and Mkhwebane said the proceedings have been finalized. The period of suspension, I won't bore you with all the rest of the sections because I know you've alluded to that, Moloko, has expired. But clearly, the President has come out and said it's pending the finalization of the proceedings by the committee. So this isn't a grey area. This isn't a misinterpretation. It has either been finalised or it hasn't.
Well, in terms of Section 194 of the Constitution, there are several steps there, Gareth. And obviously the President being the one who can suspend. And obviously the President will have to act on the recommendations of the National Assembly, a committee that has already done its work and made its recommendation to the National Assembly. The National Assembly is yet to sit and vote. And according to the interpretation of the President, only when he would have acted on the recommendations of the National Assembly, that's when the process would have come to finality. But of course, we have also heard from the Democratic Alliance's Dennis Breitenbach, who is essentially criticizing Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, saying that her decision to say she will come to report for duty is misplaced arrogance, saying that she has a fundamentally flawed grasp of the law, essentially saying that she doesn't understand how this process of suspending and ensuring and seeing to it that the process come to conclusion. As the President is also saying that in terms of Section 194, that process has not come to finality. So we don't know. Obviously, we are hoping that when Advocate Mkhwebane, that is, if she even arrives here, one of the questions we will have to ask is whether this decision to return to work came as perhaps an advice from someone else, be it her lawyers, or whether it is entirely her interpretation of the law. And we will obviously want to see whether the security here at the gate will allow her in. Because firstly, they don't allow us as journalists to go inside, because the Office of the Public Protector is located inside a privately owned office park.
Yeah.
So they obviously are aware that we are here because of the decision by Advocate Mkhwebane to come in. We really are waiting in anticipation to see whether she will even pitch up.
Yeah, that's the question right now. It's the Public Protector watch for us, if you will. It's eNCA's Moloko Moloto outside the property at the moment. If it happens, he'll be the first one to let us know as well. It's a very simple case right now. Questions being asked about why she's going back to work today. The Public Protector's office saying that it is still very much in place, that she's not supposed to be returning to work today as well. The Office of the Public Protector saying, Tums, that Mkhwebane's suspension remains effective despite her intention to return to work today. So the big boss, Cyril Ramaphosa, has said, no, you're not supposed to do that. The Office of the Public Protector has said, no, you're not supposed to do that. But it seems she may or may not be there right now.
Murky waters.
It's murky waters,
Murky waters,
indeed.
because what she said in her initial letter, is that according to Section 1943A of the Constitution, she has to be suspended pending finalization of proceedings or the inquiry. And perhaps that's where the grey lines are for her, pending finalization of the proceedings or inquiry. So where are we in the process? The Section 194 committee has adopted the report that recommends her removal. That was done on the 22nd of August.
Yeah.
So now the National Assembly has to sit and to vote on her impeachment from office. So in Busisiwe Mkhwebane's case, she's saying, well, Section 194 has already adopted the report recommending my removal. Therefore, the proceedings on the inquiry has been completed. And yet the President says, actually, there's another step that still needs to happen. This still has to go to the National Assembly, and the voting still needs to happen. So who is right? What will actually really happen? But I guess if the President wants to continue her suspension, he very well can.
Yeah, he's the boss on this particular case. And as well, let's not forget that we're still fighting, or the fight is still about the removal completely of the Public Protector, even before the end of her term.
Which is October. The end of October. And should she be removed, she loses all of her benefits.
There we go.
Literally a month before the end of her term, which is non-renewable because she's already served, all the
7 years, it's not renewable.
Not renewable. So this will be her last term, end of October, and if she does get impeached and is completely removed, that means she loses all the benefits that she would have had.
So I think we're going to try and get a constitutional law expert on this. That's how high this goes with the Public Protector's Office. So for now, unless the Public Protector has snuck in through another entrance, has not pitched up for work at 8:11. Don't worry, Moloko will stay there for us throughout this morning.